Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another Dice Bags podcast. I'm your usual host, TwitchShadowVO. Today we're joined again with Subaki
Let's go!
and Ragerea.
Hello.
If you're watching this on YouTube, based on the image in the background, you can kind of see what we're already doing. If you're listening to this on your own time, today's topic for the episode, we're going to be talking about Vidjya games.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So, right off the bat, how's everybody doing today? We doing good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing
Hell
good.
yeah.
I've been vibing. I kid you not. I felt like I almost ripped my vocal cords a little bit because I held no remorse for myself and decided to sing back-to-back Guilty Gear songs.
Yeah. For me, I've been singing Has Been Hotel songs like there's no tomorrow, so I get that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been on like a weird musical kick lately, so
Mm-hmm.
what about you, Rage? How are things going?
Oh, they're going good.
Heck yeah.
Life's busy as normal. But,
Yeah, status quo, that whole shebang.
Yep.
But yeah, me myself, I'm slowly getting back into the flow of things.
Mm-hmm.
And not exactly as productive as I would like to be right now, but we'll cross that
What are
bridge
you
when we
gonna
get
do?
to it. Exactly, right? Life
Do
happens.
Hey,
what
you're
you
gonna-
gotta do. Do
Yeah.
what you can.
So right off the bat, what is your opinion on the live service battle pass model for most video games?
All right.
Take it away, Subaki.
This one's a doozy. This one's a doozy, in my opinion, primarily out of the sake that, at this point, it's gotten to a bit into that oversaturated model format to bring. I want it to stay the fuck away from a few particular genres.
Yeah.
For something like battle royales, that makes sense. For a few other games, I mean, they do make sense. I mean, look at some gotchas, and of course it makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense for the model. What? Excuse me. Whenever it applies to no, I don't know, casual power creep.
Yeah.
But if it's purely for cosmetics, I don't mind it that much. The second it's like, oh yeah, you missed out last battle pass. Well, good fucking luck trying to keep up, motherfucker.
Just real quick, I noticed like the main thing for these battle pass models and the reason why they do so well is because it's heavily intertwined with FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So like you see a character on a battle pass you want, you're gonna have to get that battle pass because once it's gone, and that's the thought that's ruminating in so many people's heads for things like that, especially like younger people who don't understand that like they're being shook down for a skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because like the one thing I want some younger folks to understand, and of course it sounds very hypocritical for me to say younger folks, but I mean if you're still using your mom's credit card to buy shit that is for a game,
Yeah.
please, for the love of God, stop having the fear of missing out. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, it's common. It's gonna happen like a few times, but I want them to understand that, please, there is a lot more to see when it comes to the game, instead of just, oh, I didn't get this skin that was only for this amount of time. It means I won't ever see it again, or it won't make a comeback. And I'm like, well, okay. Firstly, you're wrong. Secondly, it's not like, they can just rehash the concept of the skin in general and just put it back into the shop and make you waste 20 more bucks.
Yeah, exactly.
So, by technicality, you haven't missed out yet, but it's also still not that great to wait. So while I understand, please don't steal your mom's wallet just so you can buy a $10 battle pass
Listen,
For the
man,
love of God.
you don't need the V-Bucks. You don't need them.
You don't.
You could still play
Nope.
the game without them. You could have a good time, and every once in a while they'll throw you a freebie skin or two, but like,
Yeah.
especially if you're doing that thing where it's like using your parents' credit card or something like that, you don't need it, man. You really don't. The fear of missing out is prevalent in so many games, and I hate how the industry became that way. Like Destiny, for example. If you miss out on one season or something like that, oh no, you won't get the seasonal exclusive armor or something like that.
Or
You
exotic for that
yeah,
matter.
you don't need it. And I really despise how a lot of games are taking that live service battle pass model. Like,
Yeah.
what's another like? You got Warzone, you got Fortnite, you got Destiny using that model, like Apex Legends.
Most of your FPS games.
Everything is using that model nowadays, and I really wish they wouldn't, because
Yeah.
it's becoming oversaturated, and everything has a fucking battle pass. Not including like, it's already expensive to play video games as it is.
Yeah.
At least with
$80,
yeah,
$90 a pop.
$90 a pop for the game if you're Canadian. And then you have to incorporate things like Game Pass or Xbox Live or PS Plus and all that type of
All
stuff.
of your subscriptions.
All of your
normally,
subscriptions.
Like it stacks upon stacks of money that is just. It feels like it's too much of a waste of time and resources. Because one, who knows? You might need that $10 to even get a fucking burger at this point because inflation's a bitch. But in terms of the system, I understand why it got implemented. It's something that's simple. It's easy to maintain as a system, as well as a way to entice people to come in and probably play the game a little bit. But even then, if it's used too much, it's just it feels as though it's a system that cannot progress any further. The concept of it when it was first like coming out, when Fortnite was starting to become a thing, that was nice. It was a good change of pace. It said, hey, we know that there's like levels and shit, and there's like people that go for achievements for their stuff, but we're keeping a grind for you guys so that way you guys can earn free stuff, or you can give us $10 to help us support this new like subgenre of what we wanted to do initially. Because, you know, it started off with the Save the World mode. It was supposed to be a tower defense builder game.
Yeah. You remember
But
when
it ended
Fortnite
up-
was all about the zombies? Haha, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah. But even then, it overinflated itself when the Battle Royale came into mind.
Yeah.
And even today, it bothers me because when it started to actually start to really bother me was when it was starting to influence genres I myself genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
Like my fucking JRPGs. Holy shit. No. Leave that shit out. Please, for the love of God.
The thing that I dislike...
don't want to spend $70 for a 80-hour plus experience that I'm already grinding on to experience a story in a world that I have not seen yet or I've wanted to for a while because it's a remake. Only for it to say, spend $10 more, bro, and we can get you equipment that will get you through the rest of the fucking game on easy mode.
The thing I dislike with that is like when they start incorporating that model into like single player games, that's when it's like, whoa there. Good example of that is Honkai Star Rail. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Like, I mean, sure, people say that like, oh, it's a gacha game. It has some multiplayer influences, and I'm like, it has influence. It does not mean compatibility.
Yeah.
Because by that point, it's still a power creeping edge that a player can obtain. Because not only do you get like the equipment / light cones, I just label it as equipment in general that isn't the relic system because fuck that. But it gives you like a free light cone and gives you all of the free shit. It gives you literal like free summon tickets, of course. But even then, that's the expected result of like a battle pass for a gacha. It gives you the things necessary for you to either make the game easier or allows you to go for your next multi summon, and it bothers me
Get
more.
more bitches.
Oh God.
Getting more bitches, but the
Remember,
one
folks,
like
PG-13. No.
oh yeah.
we
There's
had
some
two
more e-
we had two of those. We just wasted them. Dang it. No, I'm just kidding.
But like the only time when a game that works with the genre it is and uses that battle pass system, at least from what I've been experiencing with it, sure, there is a power creep that comes with it, but it's at least logical as to why, because it actually goes with the season that it is involved in,
Yeah.
which buffs the in general archetypes of the team that was built around it, such as for my personal enjoyment game, Limbus Company. That game has debuffs and like a whole bunch of different status effects that are, like your ailments, like like your poisons and all that shit.
Yeah.
Just
But
real quick,
it,
real quick. Um,
yeah.
to the people that are drinking watching this, take a shot every single time Subaki says Limbus Company.
I won't state it much.
I'm just kidding. I joke,
but I am mainly just like using it as like the primary example from my own standpoint.
Example, yeah.
Because I've kind of like bought a few of like those battle passes because they at least make sense as an incentive for you to learn more about the season, because each season either buffs one or two of these ailments that you can put onto enemies using teams. And the most recent one that they buffed was the bleed, which in essence they wanted to buff that, bring more shit that would actually put bleed onto enemies, but then also introduce a new mechanic called unbreaking coins, where essentially if you lose the clash against the enemy, those coins still work and you get free hits on the enemy regardless of if you won or lost the clash.
Oh,
So it
cool.
uses some of the ideas put into the newest chapter of the story and applies them to some of the things you can acquire with the battle pass. So it's more of a teaching tool while also introducing what gets buffed into a more heftier limelight, and actually allows players to experiment more vividly for what's actually there. And that's the beauty that makes it really like work, in my opinion. Plus, on top of that, at least even if you don't get what you want in your summons, if you get to max, they let you get the crates that allow you to get the shards for the character you want to have a identity for, and you can just grind up those crates and get them for free. Not a damn other dime spent. I'm already at that stage, and I still have 4 fucking months until the next goddamn chapter comes out for the next season. So, yeah, I'm going to be possibly getting 2 fucking free copies of character identities I wanted for fucking free, with no extra effort needed besides grinding what's there and saving up. It's a good system when it's balanced right for the genre it was made for.
Yeah. How about
The
you,
second
Rage?
it's no longer like there, it's fucking broken and bullshit.
Yeah.
How about you, Rage? What's your hot take?
I definitely agree with that. Like I don't, but I think there's one game currently I like that more on the live service end. It does it because I think it's probably the best game for it, just because how much content could potentially come out of this game for years. It's just you got to deal with the first initial like uh, portioning of it, which is
Yeah.
Space Marine 2.
Real quick, I'm just gonna pause. Did you just crack open another root beer?
Yes.
Oh, you fiend! Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Yeah. So Space Marine 2 could literally provide years and years of fucking content. It's
Yeah.
insane how much, like, just off lore basis there is. They could provide years of content and not even scratch the surface.
Oh yeah.
So I think off again, that's a game that works with live service.
Mm-hmm.
But like there are other games where they'll add a battle pass and live service features that, like you said, single player that don't even need the battle pass, and it's just like, okay, why this is even here?
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely agree with most of the points you brought up. but there are definitely games that I think utilize the live service and work with it. Like Warframe has existed on live service this whole time, and it has a battle
Mhm.
pass, but it's not like if you use it or not, you miss out. It's just
Yeah.
extra shit you can get,
Yeah.
and you already have access to all tiers of it. You don't have to buy it. I think you can pay to skip a couple of levels and like get the next tier, but it's like it's all through in-game challenges because Warframe's always been not pay to play, it's more to pay to save time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it was built on a live service model, so it's not a game that transitioned to it or a battle pass system live service model like Destiny did.
Yeah,
Mm.
Destiny got overhand. Like, Destiny got carried away
They
with that.
did.
The first
Yeah,
hints
I
of that was, I think it was Rise of Iron is when they started, like, really driving the microtransactions up. And then when
it was Rise of Iron.
Destiny 2 came out, and then they immediately started off with that model. I'm like, oh, fuck.
yeah. Like
I,
thankfully they do have the ability to like at I think the end of the season they'll have like they'll let you get the old shit still through like vendors and shit, which is
Mhm.
nice.
mhm.
But yeah, I think yeah, like you said, they got oversaturated with that really fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's like the biggest thing too is these developers rely too much on that model for content. You know what I mean? That's not content. Those are cosmetics. There's a difference.
Mhm.
And that's the one thing that I despise is like when a company focuses too much on cosmetics and not actually putting out good content, there's an issue there. Like don't get me wrong, like I do like the storytelling in some of the seasons and everything like that, but occasionally like in the Warzone aspect, it's like congratulations at the beginning of the season you get one little cinematic and then everything is part of the battle pass. You know what I mean? Like your new operators, your new
Yeah.
the new guns and everything like that. That's part of the battle pass. It's shit. I dislike that
Hmm.
model because it's justifying that the battle pass itself is the new content.
Yeah. When it adds very little. Maybe like
Yeah.
two new guns and an operator and that's it.
Yeah. Going on to question numero dos. What is your favorite video game streamer or YouTuber? Who do you like watching?
Oh. Hmm. I'm gonna have to think
Yeah.
on that. You take it away, Rage.
Like specific I would probably say like I watch a lot of VTuber content and well, most of them play games and shit like that. Like Rainho is a really funny one I watch, or like Iron Mouse. I enjoy her gaming
Yeah.
content with Connor
Mhm.
with but I think and I generally just bring or Bricky, he does a lot
He's
of
funny,
like
yeah.
Warhammer stuff, but he does go on more of the gaming end too, and he's a really funny streamer slash YouTuber because he has obviously if they're doing one, they're usually doing the other. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay. What about you, Sabak?
Um. Hmm. I mean, I'll probably have to give it to like hell. It has been a minute since I've like actually like looked into much else. I've recently started liking like the main trend of like whenever the voice actors start playing the games that they
Yeah.
voice in, and that has popped up in my mind with like specifically these two, and it has been Joe Zisha and fucking Alex Lee
Yeah.
when they get to play the games that they voiced in, because like with Zisha, him playing Fire Emblem Three Houses and Hopes, Jesus Christ, man makes bits with Claude, and I love it. And then Alex bringing on like the majority of the other members of the cast of Persona 3 Reload to play through the game with him was actually pretty fucking funny too.
Yeah, I think
I
even the
love it.
Baldur's Gate
Oh yeah,
The
voice
Baldur's
cast
Gate
ended up
crew,
doing it.
yeah.
whenever
They're
they got to actually
continuously
play D and
doing shit.
D.
Like I just saw them. They're now like heavily getting into like the actual like streaming of the like of like actual like, campaigns with their characters and shit,
Yeah.
Hmm.
which is sweet.
For me, I mean, like, the options are there. I do like to just like, I'm gonna go for the tried and true classic of like Game Grumps. Mostly because I just, like, there's a thing about just, turning on some Game Grumps and just having that in the background while you do things. It's nice.
Yeah.
But like, occasionally I also do like to watch other streamers, such as like Jay Schlatt, or Jay Schlatt being like the biggest one, based on the news that we just got before the podcast about his fucking Christmas song. If you haven't heard it, I'd go check it out if I were you. It's good. I listened to like a little bit of that and I'm like, oh, this is already fire. Oh man. Good old Jay Schlatt, Santa Claus is coming to town. Make sure you crank that instead of Mariah Carey this year, everybody.
Hmm.
Segueing into the next topic, what game are you playing right now? What game got you on lock right now?
Let me look at my library.
Okay, well, Tsubaki's looking through his
Yeah.
goddamn library. I've been playing the Mass Effect trilogy again.
Ooh.
It's about the ninth time I went through the game completely, but honestly, I always like going back to it. It's like before BioWare massively fucked up. I love
Yeah.
to see what they actually were able to successfully do. And I hope one day they can get back to it, because like there's been like rumors of development of like Mass Effect 4 for years. So if I actually end up getting it, sweet. As
Along
long
with
as
the
it's
next
not like
Half-Life.
Andromeda. Yeah. As long as it's not like Andromeda, I will be fine. I did not enjoy
Hmm.
Andromeda.
I don't think anybody did. Let's be honest.
And it wasn't even the
I
story. It was
took
just
even like a small look at it, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. I
yeah.
remember everybody was clowning on their animation.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's most of people's gripes, because the actual gameplay and the story aren't bad. The characters are kind of palette swaps, like how Liara was a shy person turned into a badass. We have a badass who's just a kind of a klutz all the time. That's their version of Liara with PG. I don't know. It was weird, and I get they wanted to experiment and go different directions, but I don't know.
Hmm.
You got
You
your
know what?
answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So technically, well, not in my library. Um, I've been hooked on fucking uh fucking Suikoden 2. A good old classic JRPG for the PS1 that it pops the fuck off. Combat's fun for the era in terms of like its turn-based system, because essentially how the combat works in the game is you pick everybody's actions, and then they basically play it out all in like one wave. So if you have like all 6 party members at your disposal, you pick all of the commands that you want them to do, and they do it all at the same fucking time.
Hmm.
So it's like it's meant for like a much more I would almost say simpler idea to make, like, I would say some bits of combat faster.
Yeah.
But in general sense of it all, it's definitely been a fun like few hours as of recent.
Heck
What
yeah.
about you, Shadow?
I've been playing through the new Call of Duty with Digi.
Oh yeah.
We've already gone through. Well, I've gone through the campaign solo. I'm thinking of doing it again for content for the gaming side of things. But I'm still on the fence about that. Me and Digi did a let's play on zombies that should go live, I think next week, if not the week after that. Depends
Oh
on
yeah.
when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
But yeah. The new Call of Duty, the way I would describe that is it feels like they're trying to redeem themselves based on how the franchise has been lately. And I applaud their effort. They're really trying to give it another try. You know what I mean? Um, I like the storyline in the new game, Black Ops 6. I also like the fact that they returned back to the turn-based zombies formula. And although it still feels a little bit like Cold War, which I didn't really care for, I do like that they are trying to go back to the original formula, but with the lessons they learned through Cold War.
Except,
Ooh.
what is that Omni movement bullshit? The fuck? Am I in the Matrix?
Yeah, the Omni movement. I haven't even done the Omni movement tutorial. Like they give you the option to do that. I haven't done that yet, and it intrigues me, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing every single multiplayer match like that. I'm not even sure if I'm going to stay true to the multiplayer because honestly, the zombies and the campaign alone got me hooked.
That's fair. Hey, as long as the story writing is better than It's a Frozen Forest, I think it's doing better.
Yeah.
For those people who played Black Ops fucking 3's fucking uh goddamn campaign.
Yeah.
It's a frozen forest.
But that's going into the next question. Do you have a upcoming game DLC or update that has you decently hyped?
You fucking know it.
All right, Sabaki, take it away.
The fucking Dragon Quest 3 remake.
Ah, I see.
Listen, I'm a man of taste. I want to relive a time when I was younger and I would rely on my dad's phone to play Dragon Quest 1
Mm-hmm.
whenever that port came about. And then I also then inevitably tried 4 and 5 on the DS. But then I never got to play like 3 or 2. But now, seeing 3 get the HD 2D treatment like Octopath, but knowing that they're doing that treatment for the entire Erdrick trilogy, which is the first 3 games, I'm fucking excited for when everything comes together.
Mm-hmm.
Because now people get to experience the literal origins of a franchise that was labeled quite literally as the godfather of all JRPGs. And
You
I
heard
love
it here, folks. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is going to be available in 6 fucking days. You can still pre-order.
What platforms for that?
From what I have seen for the trailers, it should be available on Steam, Nintendo Switch, and I also believe, I think on the PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I am seeing it on the pre-order screen right now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So
yeah.
if you want to experience Dragon Quest 3 as peak as it was for back in the day, as long as you don't mind like this traditional ideas of what some JRPGs were, and you get to enjoy having most of what you in generally like with simple party mechanics such as, oh, I don't know, making your own party members whatever class you want, upgrading their jobs however you want, making your own kill squad however you want, all for you to enjoy in your own journey to become a legend. Please check out that game.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds great. Might have to check it out. Maybe do something with the channel with it at some point. Maybe I'll have you on board for another gaming video for that.
Oh yeah, you fucking know it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Rage? What got you hyped?
Farming simulator, farming simulator, 25. No, and I'm not
I
fucking
was
joking. I'm
about to
staring
say, please tell me you're kidding, right?
I'm kidding here. What I'm looking forward to is the next update to Warframe. It is will be releasing is Warframe 1999.
All
Oh
right,
yeah,
I heard about that.
that one actually looks cool from like the trailer that I saw.
So there's like 6 main warframes, basically the prototypes back in time. So basically, the Infested broke out in 1999, and then somebody from the future made warframes back then, a little earlier than they're supposed to be. So it's kind of a timeline break, but that's kind of the whole mythos of Warframe is there's multiple timelines running beside each other,
Hmm.
and it just works. But anyways, you get to drive a fucking motorcycle and fight a tank with an AK and fucking cool space ninja swords. What could go wrong?
You know what? That sounds about right.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
Warframe enough.
That does.
yeah, yeah. Another one is Monster Hunter Wilds. I've always been a fan of
Yeah.
Oh
Monster
yeah,
Hunters, and it's basically combining Rise and Worlds into a beautiful blend of weird soup, and I'm there for it.
a good package.
Yep.
I guess that goes back to me.
Yeah.
Um, Game I'm looking forward to that they still haven't gave us gave us any more info on is the next Elder Scrolls. Um, that trailer is what, 5 years old now?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's 5 years old and it's still getting older. Like, gosh darn, give us something. Give us a breadcrumb. Throw us something, Todd. Jeez. I want the next installation of Elder Scrolls, and I want it now. Damn it, no. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, mostly. Because I mean, Skyrim, that's a bop, but it's starting to show its age, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you release that game, when you've re-released it for the 9th time, I think at that point you need to make a new game.
yeah. Anyways, that has been my side of like starting tangents and questions. I'll give the hot mic over to Subak.
All right. The biggest question of the fucking night: are video games art to you?
Yeah, also I guess I'll start off with it. Sorry, I just kind of jumped into that. I would
Go for it. Take the bait. Just go.
Yeah, I would definitely say so because like there's artists on it, and making a game is a long fucking process. It takes what 2 to 3 years. Sometimes you can spit it out in like a couple months, but still
Mm-hmm.
there's hours and hours poured into this. If nobody is looking at this and saying this isn't art, they're fucking blind.
Oh, oh yeah. And believe me,
And yeah,
there's still
there's some
people that do
garbage
say
looking.
that.
Yeah, there are some garbage looking games that like how the hell did this get out of testing? But like when you see their initial concepts, you can get what they were trying to go for and say, you know what, I see the appeal in if it would have succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would say fucking that's
What,
fucking
what about you, Shadow?
Gaming is not. No, I'm just kidding. No, games are indeed a art piece of artwork. But here's the thing about video games: there's more than one artist. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
only that, but it's not really so much as art itself, so much as a compilation of other people's art.
yeah,
Because you have the art that is the like. Let's just go for your bare bones single player based story game. You have the art style that is its own art to begin with, like whether they're using cell shading, 2D graphics, or 3D graphics. That's still art in its own.
mhm,
Then we get into the music, which is its own type of art. Uh, Even down to like the story writing, right? That is artwork. And finally, the unsung hero of it all is the programmers. Like you wouldn't have a game if not for those guys. And it's artwork to make something especially function that well. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
to bring it all into being with like game mechanics and everything like that also takes work. And then finally you got the lead developer slash director of the thing, which it's more or less their unified vision for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say it's art per se so much as a compilation of multiple different pieces of art.
It is
Or
a
if you,
medium to express art,
Yeah.
yeah,
made by individuals that are artists.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another way I would describe it is like an orchestra. There's
Yeah, exactly.
many different instruments in it involved. If one person fucks up, it's gonna sound horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do it right and you don't fuck it up, it
It
just
It
works.
works.
works. It just
It
works.
just
Just works.
works.
What about you, Sabaki? What is your take on the art?
So, when I first started hearing that argument and debacle start popping up around like, I think it was like 2012 or 2013, that was mainly because of people still thinking that video games were having no objective, or they were
Yeah.
just like how they were back in the NES days.
Yeah.
But by that time, we had just gotten to the end of the PS3 and Xbox 360's lifespans, and you've had games that have quite literally changed a person's life by being a pinnacle example of this, like, insert a topic here. And it was in that generation of games that at least sparked the creativity for more games of that genre to be made. But even more so, it's the fact that not only is it, yes, all of the pieces coming together, I see it as art purely going off of the fact that, well, for fucking starters, you can take a still frame of like a screenshot of like, I don't know, like, fucking hell, take Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You can take a still frame of that game, and you could tell someone that you drew that, and they could fucking believe you
Hmm.
to something of a degree, unless it's somebody that you know that's close to you. But when it comes to the actual idea of mine that I think on it, it's mainly just I want people to look at the little things that make a game actually work the way that it does. Not just the programming side, but I mean, look at the world. Look at the
Yeah.
characters. They were made with intent to actually inspire you, make you look deeper into who or what they are. I mean, the best game franchise that has done that for me has been fucking Xenoblade. Literally, look at every single character design. Some are weird, guaranteed, as well. You know, it's a JRPG from good old Takahashi. Man's ambitions is 5 times as much as Oda Nobunaga's, but that was for Xenogears. He's learned to calm that down for Xenoblade. But in the most in general term of it all, the character designs and the world itself that hold these games together actually make me look at people that say video games aren't art, and I would want to just grab them and show them the first fucking 2 hours of the first game and be like, what did you feel in this moment? Did you feel like you were watching a movie? And I want you to look out to these Gar plains, and I want you to point to me an exact moment that you felt that that this game was not an art form to you, because it's the culmination of it all that comes together, forms itself, and actively makes me literally jaw dropped every time I enter that space and I hear the music blaring as it is. It's gorgeous as hell. Both versions, the day and the nighttime versions of that same track. Just it works. It just works. And when it's put all together like this, I look around and I'm like, but it is art. It but it feels as though those that still hang on to that argument of it's not, it's just they are either underappreciating the work put into it, or using the perspective of what they already know what is art by applying it to something like Victorian era paintings.
Yeah.
When, I look at another game that's like stellar for its concept art and sketches done by the artists for the concept art, or just on their fucking free time. Final Fantasy 14. Some of the artists on the teams that go in for that game alone, sure, it's an MMO and it keeps having to go through like live service updates in a way to make it, keep popping off as it does. But the amount of details, the amount of styles that come together. I look at one piece of the one art book I have of FF14 for the Heavensward DLC. And I kid you not, it looks like a traditional Japanese ink painting. The others look like oil paintings from, oh, I don't know, the fucking Renaissance.
Yeah.
And others are now more common, what you could see from like current graphics with like something that's more simple or something that's more sketchy, something that's you can still tell that it's digital.
There's
But
a level of
even then,
appreciation
it's just good.
I have for like games that have art books. I love it. Like,
Giving you the actual insight.
yeah, the character process behind creating characters, the world, the concepts for everything, and even the process of like what it took at the beginning to get to that final step. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. All right.
crack open another root beer and let's get into the next question.
All right. Good second question. What has been your favorite video game genre of all time?
Oh man.
Fuck.
My favorite video game genre of all time is gonna have to go into first. I know like it's not necessarily a genre, but it kind of is first persons. Anything like first person shooter, first person RPG, that whole like
horror games.
Yeah, it immerses you. You know what I mean? Like you don't need a VR headset to be immersed into something like that. Like sometimes like seeing the world through the eyes of your character makes you yourself feel like that character. Whereas the way I feel in third person games is a little bit more dejected, a little bit more separated from that character. But that's just my take personally. That's why I like first persons, is because it helps me immerse myself as the character in that situation.
I gotcha. What about you, Ray?
Like RPGs is something I always liked, but I also do like I'm kind of torn between RPGs or like first person.
Ooh.
Both are like really good in storytelling in that degree, in my opinion. But I would say one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Sure. And then you know me, I'm JRPG nut over here, but
to the people at home, that's literally in his bio.
Yes, I am a JRPG nerd at heart. Toss me into like Octopath, Final Fantasy, fucking Fire
Tales.
Emblem. Yeah, the fucking Tales of series. Yeah, like literally most JRPGs I have at least wanted to try to play. And yeah, there are some that don't get that spotlight anymore because it will be very relevant for my next question whenever it comes in. But it's just they bring such rich stories, they bring good characters, and my god, sometimes they actually get really good fucking voices in their systems, because sure, we all know the moments when a voice actor in a video game does not work.
Yeah. Wow, you were almost a Jill sandwich.
Thank you.
Ropes, bombs.
Thank you, Barry.
And anything.
Thank you, ham sandwich.
But like it's those few games that like actually like allow that level of like genuine idea of like, what's the barrier we're gonna push with voiceover work that allows people to pop the fuck off and make a really good name for themselves?
Mhm.
And that's where JRPGs kind of come in, because you've had people like fill in roles before that actually work really well with the role that they have been given to live on a legacy, especially if that game is either like a remaster or a remake, either or. Like, biggest example, Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII. He had his own spin-off game for the PS2 called Dirge of Cerberus, where you got to play as Vincent as well as Kate Sheath every now and then. But
Yeah.
he was voiced by Steve Bloom for that game, and then Rebirth comes out, and Vincent gets handed down to our the our man, myth, and legend Matt Mercer, and man's literally like looked at the screen and is like, no fucking way. But he's done a really good job with that, and I love it when the genre that I enjoy is that genre that many people can try to enjoy, especially if they themselves lend their talent to that,
Mhm.
because it shows the range that they need to work with, especially for how much it demands out of a person, because there's so much fucking dialogue. So I give everybody that works with them like full props for what they do for that genre of game. And that's my take.
All right. You want to segue into? I could already see the question, so
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Hit me, fellas. What's a fucking franchise that needs a fucking remake? Bring it. Say 'em all.
I thought we did, but that episode didn't go live, did it? Yeah.
What are you talking about? Nothing.
What are you talking about? There was totally nothing that happened. I'm a complete competent person that knows how to edit and everything. For me, it would be the original Tom Clancy's, like Ghost Recon 1. I liked that era of video game for like the first-person shooter genre because of just how intense it was. Like, it's not like Call of Duty intense where you're running and gunning, you boom, boom, boom. No, Ghost Recon was intense that, like, if you fucked up, one of your guys is dead.
Will die.
Yeah, and you only
Anxiety
have
factor.
you only have a limited group, right? To get the job done, and like the enemies, they hit hard, even for like playing on a good like a reasonable difficulty. Like you're hit twice, you're down. Like it's very how would you describe it? Like there's a lot at stake in that game, and
Yeah.
especially when I was a kid playing that for like the first time, and I've never played anything like that before. Like it felt like I wouldn't say real, but like it felt like there was genuine stake there.
Like actually having your moves make a purpose.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's say you're attacking like a camp, right? You had to move certain people based on their skills to certain areas, then go back into first person view, and then join the fight yourself in real time. And like if you fucked up in your planning, or if you messed up in anything like that, dudes died. And that's what I loved about Ghost Recon 1, and that's why I wish they could go back to that route.
Oh yeah.
Handing the question off to you, Rage.
Well, I kind of have like a couple of answers. One is the Dracoon series of games. There was like a PS1, PS2 JRPG. I would
the
love
Legend
to
of
see that.
Dragoon.
Yes. Because I
Bro,
remember always seeing like the sick art. It's just these normal dudes, and they get this dragon armor, and it isn't.
yeah,
It is sick. The
bro. The fucking battle theme, bro. I was not expecting fucking breakbeat drums.
yeah,
God, yeah, that game does need a good remake.
yeah,
It was all 4 discs on the PS1.
yeah. But that was general because Final Fantasy VII was like 3 discs on PS1 as well or PS2. So
Oh God.
and
You.
another one.
Oh.
This is just a kind of bouncing off Shadows. I want specifically them to remaster. They can remake it. I just want the core mechanics of Ghost Recon Future Soldier intact because I
Ooh,
love that game.
hell yeah.
The cloaked shadow play. I always like games that give me the ability to go invisibility for my like stealth
Hmm.
is super. I love fucking Ghost Recon because Ghost Recon, I will agree, have gone to shit. Wildlands was.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I said, "This is not Ghost Recon." Now I
It
admit,
ain't.
Future Soldier was already kind of breaking, but it's kind of took its own stake to the stealth warfare. But it was still kind of keeping it with the PSP versions of the games.
Yeah.
So it was kind of following that train. But yeah, I would definitely say I would like um, that to be.
You also had a point that you were gonna bring up, Shadow.
Um. I forgore.
Mm.
I'm sorry.
All right. Oh boy, I got a list,
He has a list.
Oh,
and I'm gonna
goody.
check it motherfucking twice.
He's gonna find out what
So,
game needs a remake and has been nice.
yeah. Um, out of most of the ones that I wish I could, in general, properly enjoy, a remake that needs to be made is one for a Fire Emblem game, actually. And it's not any of the GBA ones. Those will be for later. The the ones I want to get a remake as a 2-for-1 deal collection pack is Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War and Thracia 776. The reason why I want the 4th and 5th games to be a bundle pack is for the in general sake of continuity. They take place on the same fucking continent, in the same fucking countries, and in the same fucking cities.
And
And
what
guess
they're like,
what? The lords from the games fucking visit each other. Because guess
oh
who was friends? Their parents.
Yeah, you really have to pair that together.
yeah, like
It's also like you can't really remaster one without remastering both, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, because like one, if you only remaster one, you don't understand who the fuck this other guy is.
Yeah.
Because in genealogy, um, you have Leaf, who is the lord from Thracia 776, appear as a temporary party member before he goes back to Thracia and handles more of his shit in his game. But then in Thracia, Seliph, who is the son of the lord that you play initially in the beginning of genealogy, starts to visit Thracia to help out Leaf with his shit. You see the fucking problem?
Yeah.
yes, we see the problem.
Because it's a massive continuity thing that I'm like, okay, I need them to get both in there with their both respective acts because technically genealogy is in theory 2 games put into one by its own right by having Sigurd as his own generation
Hmm.
and then Seliph being the second generation. So yes, it was the game that laid the groundwork for Awakening to fucking exist. But um in itself, it's a game that's told in 2 acts with one of the more grittier stories overall, with an actual genuine good ass plot. And damn, they already have a stellar fucking voice cast for one reason. Fire Emblem Heroes.
Mm.
The fucking gacha game has an idea of who the hell can voice everybody. What the fuck? And they work.
I didn't
So,
know Heroes was a gacha game. I'm gonna be honest.
It is a gacha.
Ah, I
Because
see.
okay, Warriors is the Dynasty Warriors one, but then
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Heroes is the gacha where it's like, oh, you can only make a 4-man squad with literally anyone you want from any one of the fucking franchises, including original characters made for the story mode of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, what the fuck? But you know, it's whatever. At least there's a reference point for who fits the characters in terms of like a voice. In fact, they kind of got to pop the fuck off in Engage because they were brought in as that game was technically an anniversary title. But even then, I want those two games remade and put into a collection, but as one game. To be like, oh, I don't know, Fire Emblem Echoes, like the fucking Tales of the Holy Wars. Because technically, they were both one and the same. It's just one was a smaller revolution to retake one country, while the other was quite literally the life and death of many people on top of like very heavily religious autocracies and possibly borderline going to end the world if an evil dragon deity comes into power again by reincarnating into one of the main villains. Yay!
Stupid owl to win.
But in general, one of the darker plots of Fire Emblem, I want it brought back for that reason, because Jesus Christ. I look at Engage and I'm like, who the fuck let Colgate run their shit?
Colgate.
Literally red, white, and motherfucking blue. Why? Instead, just let me get my whites and golds with black accents with blue hair. That's all I want.
Yep.
Fire Emblem Colgate.
All right. Final question on my part. What is the one game that changed your life?
Ooh, I got this. The one game that changed my fucking life was The Legend of Zelda.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's the thing that like really cemented my love for RPGs. And like it really got me into the whole like fantasy type settings and like which sparked a lot of my creativity as a kid. Like The Legend of Zelda, the two that I played was the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I played both of them back to back as a kid, and they were like, for a first game, the epitome of like storytelling for me. Like it follows this heroic journey spanning time, and you know, to go on this ultimate quest which culminates, and it's something that I adore to this day. And a lot of people, like, when they replay that game, it's like, I don't get it. It's like you had to have played it then and there at that time. Otherwise, if you're looking at it from a biased view nowadays, it's not going to hold up. I mean, you have things like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. There's Baldur's Gate and, you know, all the other
Dark
RPGs.
Souls.
Dark Souls. But it's that as like a first game, a first RPG, and you know, the introduction to like the fantasy genre, that was it for me. Like I loved that game.
God. What about you, Rage?
It's the first the Halo trilogy.
Yep.
Halo 1, 2, and 3 shaped like my mind of like what a really good story could be. and that's why it's so disappointing. The show's so shit.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, just going through like I played that game like most kids, probably before they should have. I played I think that when I was like maybe 10, 11-ish, like way before I was supposed to ever play it.
Hmm.
But the first games like horror when the flood were first introduced has like
Oh.
wrapped on my mind. The second I hear the flood theme, I start panicking. Like like nothing will impose so much dread as if you play the flood theme from the first library mission. I'm like, or the third game. I especially hate the third game's library or flood
Mm.
mission. Fuck high
Hmm.
charity.
Yeah.
But I mean, the depths of like the voice acting was phenomenal. And like if you look at the cast, even just for ODST, which was just a DLC, there
Hmm.
are some big fucking names in that fucking game.
Oh yeah, there are.
There would later be like big time actors.
I think it was like the one that caught me off guard the most was I think Nathan Fillion with
Yeah,
um with fucking Bucky.
Or
yeah,
yeah, Buck.
And yeah, yeah, and then for him to uh fucking um oh god damn it. Yeah, he made his like his comeback in 5, and then you still got to see Locke get his shit ran.
Yeah.
Listen, I still
yeah.
love that scene. It's like Master
Oh no,
Chief pulls up.
no. If you want to see a funnier version, look at lore. I think it's like lore
Lore
accurate chief
accurate Master
versus
Chief.
yeah, and he just whips Locke against the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Master Chief, you're under arrest. I wasn't asking. Boom!
Yeah, just utterly shit stomps him. Or like even who voices the Arbiter? I think it's oh god,
It's
it's gonna
Keith David.
Yeah, it was Keith
Keith
David.
David. Keith David has been in so much big shit. It's not even funny. He was in Saints Row. He was like
Call of Duty.
A
He was
little
in
bit of
Modern
Call of
Warfare.
everything.
Duty. Yeah, he was in the original. Yeah, that's right. But like just what that game did, and like even on the multiplayer end, like it was what brought Xbox Live to life. It was one of the first games to ever use it. Halo 2 may have sold probably one of the most copies of a game ever, cause for that reason, like how revolutionary that thing was. So yeah, I would definitely say the Halo trilogy for me is
Hmm.
what changed my life.
Oh boy. Um, in terms of me, I've had like a few games that technically like could be put into that limelight of just like games that have changed my life. I think the one that like set me down on my feet to make friends more was Guilty Gear Double X Accent Core Plus R.
That was a lot of fucking words you just said, and none of
Fighting
them.
games in
Yeah,
Japan go that
yeah,
long.
yeah.
It's a
Fighting
light
games in
novel
Japan
name
go
now.
burr.
No, Shadow, that's just every Guilty Gear game. It has
Yeah.
a obnoxiously long fucking title that makes no sense to it.
Oh, similar
I mean,
to Bandai
Exit
Namco's
Rev 2.
Shonen Jump's Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm connections.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
But in essence, I basically got introduced to Guilty Gear through Accent Core, and I I basically got to participate in like my first online tournament. I of course got like 7th place, but even then, it was mainly because not that many people were already there in the first place. So
fair enough.
in terms of much else, it got me encouraged to start trying out fighting games instead of me being like, oh, I only like my FPS games, or I only like my RPGs. No, it's quite literally the reason why I put respect towards Arxis, because I got to see Guilty Gear Strive start being fucking unveiled, and I was like, ooh, I'm hyped as fuck now. It has my attention, and then fucking Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising comes out, and I'm like, oh, take me away. So it changed my life in the case of actually molding my taste in games to actually look around a little bit and be like, what can I find in this gem, or what can I find in this genre that I can like about it? And it got me to try so much more.
Fair.
All right.
Also, I think it's the only game to have a main villain named That Man.
Yes.
That meant what?
I'm not
Yes.
fucking kidding you.
Because quite literally, I kid you not, the story of Guilty Gear has its main antagonist be described all the way up until Strive. Well, technically Exerd, but towards the end of it all, described as That Man, because
Yeah, it
one,
literally.
nobody knew his name, primarily out of the sake that he took precautions, and by precautions, I mean he is old enough to the point where his file no longer exists as an individual.
Yeah. So everyone and like whenever he talked, it was just That Man. Not joking you is his name for the longest time. I don't care what his actual name is. His parents looked at him and said that this baby's name is That Man. Fuck.
Guilty Gear's naming convention is whack.
I mean, we have Soul Bad Guy,
Soul Bad Guy is the first
Who-
thing that came to my mind.
Axel
Oh yeah.
Lowe.
Yeah,
No. Soul Bad Guy, who is the protagonist.
yeah.
The whole shtick of like, I love the lore of the games, dude. I watched the whole fucking videos that were meant for people to get caught up on the fucking story before Strive came out, so you could watch the fucking movie of what Strive story mode is. It's good. God. All right. You got any questions, Rage?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's hear it.
So I'm gonna go into my first one. What is an IP that does not have a game, or has a game but you would like in a different genre?
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh.
If you guys need time to
Ooh.
cook, I do have an answer.
You know what?
I am cooking.
Yeah, I am cooking too. Give your answer.
Okay. Well, I would like a. It's kind of one for a gotcha game, but I would like them to do like a more like turn-based RPG than it is. Like,
Alright.
give it a Final Fantasy like style to it. Give me a Final Fantasy game of that, or give me a first-person shooter of like some of the like. I don't fucking know. I thought of this question, and there's a lot of games this could apply to, or even like ones that haven't got anything. Like, imagine like a first person Overwatch or an RPG Overwatch with that mentality to it. Be
Yeah.
kind of sick.
Hmm.
You know what? You bring up a good point. Can you imagine if the thing for Overwatch wasn't team-based FPS, and it was actually a story-based first-person shooter, or even a story-based RPG game?
Yeah, thanks Overwatch 2 for definitely delivering on that.
Yeah, thank you, Overwatch 2. Oh, man. Nowadays, people will look at Overwatch and all they'll think in their head is League. Hey, it's League with guns.
League was another one I wanted an RPG of because, like, holy shit, there's a lot of lore
There's a
that
lot of
barely
lore
gets
and
told.
world building. And,
There is,
like...
and
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, just like there's like so many cool characters. Like the whole thing, like if you want like a brothers conflict, we have that between
Genji and Hanzo.
oh yeah, but I'm meaning on the League end, it has that. It has elements of betrayal and like Arcane is giving a light to it
Yeah.
and will eventually get there because it scratched the fucking surface. Where it is like one minute detail of League's fucking lore.
Yeah, and like
Hmm.
Piltover and Zon are just like the beginning of that world. You know what I mean? Like there's a
Yeah,
lot
there's a whole
more.
there's a whole like most of the other stories are like with us are like I can't remember its fucking name, but it's like a more spiritual Asian kind of motif to it.
Hmm.
And there's so much that happens there.
Uh,
Zed and Zed is a character I am excited for when they eventually bring him in because he's like a whole shadow ninja shit. It's I can't wait for that.
my favorite League character and a character like I love Garen,
Oh yeah,
Mister Demacia. Speaking of
yes,
Demacia, that's like another area that they could expand on in the League of Legends
area. Yeah,
media, I guess,
yep.
like the shows
Well,
and whatnot.
I definitely think eventually Arcane is gonna get to everything.
Hopefully,
There's a lot of content it can do. That
yeah.
show
There
will not
is.
run out of areas to tell stories.
Hopefully they're not just focused on the Piltover and Zon stuff. Maybe hopefully they will get to other areas of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't, I
Okay.
understand it, but still.
The one legend I wish would get more like ideas tossed at him. Primarily because one, whenever I tried League for like a couple games or so before it was like this ain't my jam, it was Ezreal.
Oh yeah.
Listen, when I saw the one trailer for like I think it was like the World Championships and he had to like help Kaisa and it was like the ruins and shit.
Yep.
It was the motherfucking smirk that he gives her when he comes back to save her ass. That makes me go like, he's my favorite character. He's a fucking, he's a goofball. He's an adventurous little bastard, and he also just likes to do cool shit. Let me, let me get more of this guy.
Or another setup that I like is their like cyber futuristic version,
Oh yeah,
the project skins. Like holy shit, do I just need a show about that entire universe?
it's that good shit.
And Tsubaki is back in whole.
Ah, damn it. We put Sabaki back in the
That's because
hole.
I gotta.
Oh, there he yeah.
He hides his root beer in the hole.
Apparently, geez, what is it? Your third?
Fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah, I'm on some moo moo milk right now.
Some moo moo milk.
Some
Why do
chalky
you go
milk.
to the bar in Clocktown?
All right, I basically loosely responded to that question because
Yeah.
yeah, it was Overwatch for me. So while Subaki explains his, I'm also going to go grab a drink and mute myself
All right.
because listening to him just cracking cans after cans of root beer, I'm like, man, I had a can of Coca-Cola in front of me. Why am I still parched? All right, Subaki, take it away.
All right. If I had an IP that I wish could get like a different genre or
Mhm.
a similar genre but a different take on it, hmm, I would probably like to see something like if they ever did shit. Honestly, there's not too many games that I see that have like that much potential in my eyes to like differ too much out of the genre that they are in.
Yeah.
But the one series that I wish could be more like experimented with in terms of like maybe what you can see doing it like with is maybe the franchise known as Disgaea. Jesus fucking Christ. Despite it being a tactics RPG, the minute you either make it an action RPG or a standard turn based RPG, but you keep the concept of the franchise in there, oh my god, you are going to have fun. Because the whole shtick about Disgaea is, oh, you know your standard limitations of what a JRPG's like number system is? Yeah, toss that out the window. There are no more limits. The next max limit is what you thought the limit could not be. And you have damage numbers that go into the billions, if not the quintillions, with no drawbacks. It's fucking golden. And if they made that into either a action RPG or a turn-based, and they still kept that system in there, oh. Oh, buddy. They are gonna have a baller time seeing numbers flash before their eyes to be nothing but a jam fest of I'm blinded. I
Yeah.
only wish to see number. Like it's just that series that you shouldn't take seriously, like, at all, purely because of the factor of not only the character designs already work enough as is to be like standard turn-based or action RPG party members,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just it's the numbers game. It's just the numbers game for me that makes me laugh the most. It's just the numbers game. It fucking God. If it actually did become that, though, like, I feel like I would both lose my shit, but also be like, I want to see how they can cook it. Because if they cook it right, we might have a good game on our hands. Would that be my answer?
I have a partial answer. Well, Shadows, and so it gives me time to
Oh, I'm
spitball
here.
my next. Okay. And I don't know if you're back. I didn't hear a can crack or nothing, so you
Yeah.
can't tell all that. So another one, it's called Trench Crusader.
Ooh.
It's a newer IP that just got created. It's and it's from ex Games Workshop employees and Hasbro employees that came together to make this. So basically, think about World War II mixed with Knights Templars and demons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
This The setting is insane for what it could be. Like, oh yeah, that could be an amazing game. Like, and it's all trench warfare. It's like there's like the space that happens, and it's like thousands and thousands of miles of just trenches everywhere.
The no man's land.
Yeah, but that'd be my other one. Like, that'd be a pretty good shooter or RPG or however you want to take it, because there's a lot of ways you
Mhm.
could take that kind of setting. Um, but my next question is, what is a game that you think deserves a sequel or a spiritual successor?
Hmm. That one's actually kind of tough. Hang on. Okay. I feel like a game that actually does need a proper sequel, not other titles that kind of made the plot feel a little bit more down on it,
Mm-hmm.
or at least dumbed down the idea of what is there. But I want Final Fantasy Tactics back, not not advanced Final Fantasy Tactics from like the GBA, like both of
Yeah.
those ones. They made one of the darkest Final Fantasy plots go from a gripping political thriller about two people that wanted to change the class system between the poor and the noble,
Yep.
and it's fucking it's so good. But then they dumbed it down to, oh hey guys, let's play at our snow fortresses in the wintertime, and then we get transported into the book, and then we do all these tasks for all these mystical races of people. It's gonna be fun. What the fuck happened?
Okay, I'm pretty sure at that point, the tactic series kind of lost something for him because, like, yeah,
It lost what it had. I
yeah.
want my grit back. Give me another game for tactic. Like, I mean, the last time that they actually tried it in that way was the fucking it was the fucking gotcha game War of the Visions. They did it for the fucking gotcha game to bring back something of a gripping political thriller plot about fucking classes and almost going to a race in terms of topics of discussion for 3 fucking kingdoms at war. Why? Why for the gotcha game where you get to summon every fucking character from throughout the franchise, but not its own individual game? What the fuck?
Okay, to be fair, it's probably one of the most egregious of Final Fantasy Gotcha games. Thank you, all
It
the brave,
is.
all the bravest.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you, Brave Exvius. You did your service pretty well. But War of the Lion, yeah, with fucking War of the Visions, please, for the love of God, can you take that concept, make it a proper console game release, and you may have my fucking soul. Please, give me my tactics games with that extra sauce of thriller plots with characters that matter and dialogue that hits so good.
Shadow.
Yes.
What is a game that you think deserves either a spiritual successor or a sequel?
Um. I'm gonna sound like a fucking tool for this, but uh, a Wind Waker 2 would be nice,
Yeah.
but
Ooh,
not Phantom Hourglass, if you know what I mean.
yeah. You want? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Still the cell shaded style
Still,
of like Toon
yeah.
Link and his little hijinks.
Give me a spiritual successor to the Wind Waker in a console format. Because I gotta be honest, like I played both Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks to completion, loved them, but it left it left a hole when they stopped doing that style of Zelda. Like I liked it, don't get me wrong, I loved it, and I like the new the almost like toy art style that they have with the new ones.
Yeah.
There is the what is it? The Something of Wisdom. It's the Zelda game with Zelda as the main character
Oh
that's
yeah.
coming out.
I can.
Yeah,
Or if not already came out, but and then
finally, the game where we play as Zelda.
yeah, it truly is the Legend of Zelda. No,
Legend of Zelda. Yes.
but give me something like Wind Waker and not like that. I like the art style, don't get me wrong, but there's still a soft spot in my heart for that Wind Waker look.
Yeah. On a side tangent for that, I would love a Four Swords game again. Like a modern Four
Yeah.
Swords would be sick. The fact they haven't done that in
Give us
years
a
kind of blows me away.
Give us a Four Swords with
Minish
actual
Cap and Four
online
Swords.
play.
Exactly. Fucking many copies that would be insane.
It would be.
That would be printing
Also-
money.
Yeah, exactly. My answer is more cop out than anything. I want Silk Song because I don't think I'm gonna get it at this point. It's Hollow Knight sequel, and it has been there. We have heard nothing in 6-7 months at this point.
It's basically been in like a weird, almost what feels like a hiatus state in terms of
Yeah,
announcements.
and that and Metroid Prime 4 have been in kind of the same fucking limbo. I just need one of them to release, and I can like live again.
You can die happy.
Yeah, I currently have a pulse of 0 until those games come out. I don't know what's gonna happen. Because like Silk Song, you get to play as fucking like, and also the fact it's an actual sequel to Hollow Knight.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not just DLC. It's a proper sequel.
Yeah, like you're going to other places. And now I'm also curious what if they're gonna even mention what ending is canon, or if they're just gonna leave it vague.
Oh,
I'd imagine they
that's-
probably leave it vague leading into it, just so like your choices didn't mean
mean-
absolute shit.
I mean,
But-
yeah. That's kind of what I would expect. especially with a game as technically freeform as Hollow Knight,
Yeah.
to a degree, because there's like the one other game that like technically has a quote unquote canon ending, yet also is it's relatively vague as for what keeps most of the situation there.
Mhm.
Was like Fear and Hunger,
Oh yeah.
where it's like your choices didn't matter in the first game, but for the majority of the other shit, why the fuck are there like 7 different continuity issues that may or may not spring up in your playthrough of Termina?
Or they could just pull the Dark Souls, right? Oh yeah, your choices become Dark Lord or keep the Age of Fire. Didn't matter.
Yeah, like it really felt weird whenever I saw most of the characters, if not at least make namesake choices, appear in the second game as like either it was supposed to be like a little like still say, hey, we know that time has passed and all that shit, but your favorite characters are still technically here, just not as how you remember them. Because like there's like the technical few living members of the quote unquote adventuring party from the
Yep.
first game, being Moonless, who was this like I'm gonna basically just say almost eldritch wolf,
Okay.
and then Nazra, who is a powerful mage that it's kind of a floating head. They they kind of don't have a body anymore.
Oh, so he's like a demi-lich.
Yeah, but he's now just a random ass accessory for a follower of his in the second game, and he's just he has full blown conversations with him, and I laugh at it because it's like, the gang's all here.
Yep.
Because
Uh,
even then it's just there's some things that make sense and others that are just like, are you sure that this wouldn't mess with my perception of what I should pick to get a proper conclusion for the first game,
yeah.
for it to make sense for the second? Because it sounds like there's some issues here, because there are so many different fucking decisions to be made in the first game, as well as for what endings you get, because multiple endings, especially the S rank ones, can
Mm-hmm.
happen simultaneously, and
Oh.
yet you get to play through one of those, and you would have to play through it again using only the one party member to understand whatever the fuck is going on.
That
But
sounds
even then, it's
elaborate.
still good. It's very elaborate for an indie game made in RPG Maker.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Uh, anyways, here's my part 2 of this question. This is tied just to specifically Final Fantasy. What Final Fantasy that doesn't have an After Years, aka a sequel, would you want to get a sequel to continue the story?
I feel like I I feel like you might have had a nerve touch with Final Fantasy IV the After Years.
It was
Because some
great. I
people,
loved 4
well, I
for
mean,
the After Years.
yeah, some people had like issues with the After Years with Final Fantasy IV. I don't know why. It was actually pretty
Yeah,
good.
it finished up Kane's story.
It
It
did.
needed to because like Kane was in a weird state at the end of the game. But anyways, my answer for this is 6 because God would I love to see a sequel of where everybody is after this, like
Hmm.
after the whole magic is gone.
Oh yeah. See how they handle all their
Yeah,
lives at this
exactly.
point.
Uh, Shadow, would yours be 15?
You fucking know it.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
figured
yeah.
his was going to be 15, and that
Okay,
would be
real
very.
real quick, real quick. The only Final Fantasies I've played is 7 and 15.
Sevens wouldn't be bad either.
But 7 already
Uh,
has that with the form of Advent Children,
Yeah.
though.
yeah, but you could go beyond 7 Advent Child. You could go a game past that,
Hmm. And still like
which I would
work on
still
like
count.
having
Again,
to work through most of the characters and like
yeah,
see at least how they're doing.
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause, like 4's After Years is like 10, 15 years later, like the main character's
Everybody's either
son is like,
elders or
yeah,
they have children now.
exactly. So that's what I mean. You can go quite a bit further on, and it's still accurate. Like,
Yeah.
unless you're like 10-2, where it's like damn near 2 months after it.
Oh yeah, that one was odd.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would kind of not mind if oh I m- maybe Final Fantasy 12.
Yep.
Which one was
That
12?
one, Vaughn.
Ah.
I would definitely say that like that one definitely should probably get a more proper conclusion because it felt like for the end of the game it almost felt rushed.
Yeah.
Because they kind of like once you defeat the final boss, they don't just roll credits. They give you something of like a final cutscene, but then they then splay it into text because technically you are playing through a narration given to you by a man reading a book to you that told you the history of the fucking nation to begin with.
Mhm.
So I'm like, it would be nice if we got like a game that was something that would be like, oh hey, it's an expansion of Final Fantasy 12. We can see how the gang's doing, but then we can also see the current, maybe a little bit shaky at first, political developments that happens in the nation.
Also,
Something that makes sense and what it goes into in the fucking beginning.
just real quick, would your choice be Final Fantasy 15? As if I don't have like a replica of the fucking Ring of the Lucii just chilling on my desk at all times.
That's right. And also, it would be very interesting to see
Yeah.
what After Years 15 would even be.
Oh yeah.
Like, honestly, out of all of them, like, 6, there's a setup for it, but, like, it was vague enough where, like, what the fuck would they even do for 15?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Oh, yeah.
where I'm questioning, because,
Well, like,
depending on the...
they concluded 15 almost perfectly because after the end of Arden, that's also the end of the demons, the Star Scourge. Not only that, but like you can't even really do anything with unless you're running Lucius without a king, because even the line of Lucius is broken at the end of 15.
Yeah.
But I'd be
Like,
curious.
there's a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
lot that happens with 15 that's just like, how can it go? And
Yeah.
if it did go in that direction,
I don't need
how would
sleep,
the
I
rest
need
of the
answers.
gang work?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
quite literally. I don't need sleep. I need
Did
answers.
Biggs and Wedge survive it? That's all I
Did
need.
Prompto and Cindy get together?
Please tell me.
Give my boy the chance.
Yeah.
No, he got
Aw.
pegged by Cindy. That's the closest.
No. He opted to go for Aranea, who
Not a bad pick.
who arguably at least recognized him.
And had more interactions with Prompto.
Yeah.
In episode Prompto too. Yeah.
She's really Prompto's best girl, and Prompto is still too busy pining over Cindy.
I
Yeah.
mean, we can understand why.
We could understand why, don't get me wrong, but like at the end of the day, like if I were to choose between Aranea and Cindy, it'd be Aranea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's my preference to Dragoon classes and the complete raw dogging they're getting in modern Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
listen.
15 brought them, or 16 brought them back as an enemy type.
Yeah.
It's kind of mad about that.
Yeah.
That's all you get is
I
an
would
enemy
too.
type.
In 14, they don't get respect.
Yeah, no, Dragoons have been getting dug on for a long time. There's been like a dedicated Dragoon character since probably 4.
I mean, the last time that I wouldn't say dedicated, but like a proper like Dragoon-esque character came into mind was Ignis in 15.
Yeah.
Because he could technically learn jump because he could learn spears.
That's true. And spears are one of his main weapons.
Yeah, like
I mean,
his whole shtick
there
is spears and daggers.
there is a bit where you can recruit RNA as part of your team for a while, and if you're in combat before you go to was it Golden Key where you go to Tenebrae?
Yeah, I believe so.
If you go there, like before you leave for Tenebrae, if you get into any fights with the Empire, RNA would join your team.
Mm-hmm.
I know, obviously, that there's been like mods to have her in for the entire time.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we're somewhat running out of time here.
Yep.
I've been your lovely host, TwitchShadowVO. That has been your other host, Tsubaki VA, and our guest for this podcast, Ragerea. Any final departing words you want to give to the people?
I got one.
Not necessarily.
So real quick before we head out, I thought I would bless your ears. I guarantee it's gonna play an ad, but hopefully it doesn't.
With the YouTube music,
It's gonna play a fucking ad. Oh man. Enjoy Jay Schlatt singing Santa Claus is Coming to Town. We'll see you next time.
Watch out. You better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good, for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.